So let's go ahead and also do this, guys, depending on the state that you're in, right? My general rule of thumb is don't fuck with no girl that's under 18. Don't fucking do it. But there are states out there, right, that have lower ages of consent. Okay, so age of consent, let's say California. Okay, 18. And then we're going to go age of consent, Illinois. 17. And then age of consent, let's say another big state, Texas. I think, or 17 in Texas. Yep. And then I think some of the one of the lowest ones is Kentucky. 16. And then was it Kansas? Which is fucking crazy to me. Just guys, only fuck with 18-year-olds, bro. But yeah, some of these states have lower ages of consent. And also keep in mind, also, just because it's the age of consent, guys, you also got to play into effect that like the distance between the man and the woman change. Okay, like you can only, there's Romeo and Juliet laws, which basically allow for a certain amount of years in between the two parties. So just deal with girls that are 18, bro, and above. Don't fucking risk it, guys. Like if you take one thing from this podcast, man, just fuck with girls that are 18 and above, bro. Don't like, can you potentially, deal with a girl that's younger if your state has a lower age of consent and then you're young enough to, maybe fall within the Romeo and Juliet guidelines? Yes. But guys, don't fucking do it, bro. Age difference is real. Okay. It ain't worth it. All right. Racketeering Acts 8, 13, and 14 Mann Act violations, Jane O. So, okay, let's look at the Mann Act real quick, okay? Basically, guys, the Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910, is a federal law that criminalizes transportation of any woman or girl for the purpose of prostitution or debauchery or for any other immoral purpose. So, it was passed in June 1910 and named after Illinois Congressman James R. Mann, invoked in the Commerce Clause to felonize the use of interstate or foreign commerce to transport women for immoral purposes. The act was aimed at prostitution, immorality, and human trafficking. Congress appointed a commission in 1907 to investigate into the problem of immigrant prostitutes. It was alleged that immigrant women were brought to America for sexual slavery and immigrant men lured American girls into prostitution or white slavery. The committees believed that no girl would enter prostitution unless drugged or held captive. This led to public outrage, which eventually resulted in the enactment of the Mann Act. So here's the thing. Now, does every pimp get charged with the Mann Act, guys? No, because a lot of the times they're able to establish that the girls wanted to be prostitutes, which is why human trafficking is very difficult to prove, guys. It actually is. However, it's easy to prove human trafficking if the girl is underage, okay? Which is what the government was able to do in R.Kelly's case. If these girls were of age, he probably wouldn't have been getting hit with as hard of the charges that he's getting hit now. But since he was a fucking dummy and wanted to deal with girls that were young and, be on this risky type shit, that's why they were able to hit him with the Mann Act, because the girls can't consent, guys. Even if they consented at the time, or they didn't feel like they were being prostitutes, or maybe they didn't feel like they were being used or whatever. They're not old enough to consent. So bam, now the Mann Act pretty much attaches itself to the criminal activity automatically. However, if you're like a pimp and you got like 20 girls that work underneath you, and they're all 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, whatever the hell it is, right? And you're pimping them out, literally pimping them out. However, the girls are all of age, and they're like, hey, listen, I know my pimp, beats me and all this other shit and, whatever, but I want it to be a prostitute. It's not forced, which a lot of the time is the case with these prostitution rings. The girls aren't forced. They want to be prostitutes. You can't necessarily hit them with the Mann Act, okay? It's much more difficult to prove. Can you still hit them with it? Potentially, but it's more difficult to prove. That's why the Mann Act works so well with underage girls, because they can't consent. Since they can't consent, it don't matter if they personally themselves consented. You can't legally consent because you're not old enough, all right? So age ain't nothing but a number? No, age matters, guys, all right? Age definitely matters.